Hello friends, welcome to our thermodynamics lecture series. In our thermodynamics today's lecture, we'll be discussing what is thermometer, how this thermometer works on which principle, how it is constructed, and how to determine the sensitivity of the thermometer. Myself Professor Ravikiran Latte welcome you all for the today's lecture on our YouTube channel Basics of Physics. So let us start with our today's session. In our earlier lecture, we had seen what is the difference between the heat and temperature. Okay, and also we had considered there are different temperature scales are there which are used, which are nothing but the Kelvin scale, Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, Rankine scale is there, a Rømer scale is there. We had discussed those type of scales which are used to measure the temperature. Now in today's session, we'll be discussing a device which is used for the measurement of the temperature. That device is nothing but it is called as a thermometer. So in today's session we'll be discussing what is thermometer and how it works and what is the principle behind it. Now the branch of the science which deals with the study of the temperature or measurement of the temperature, that is called as the thermometry. So thermometry works on the principle, it states that any material property which changes with the temperature, any material property which changes with the temperature, so the property which changes with the temperature can be used to measure the temperature. So it is the different types of property a different material can have, and this can be used for the measurement of the temperature because this property scales with the temperature, or this property changes with the temperature. So what are these properties that we'll be discussing? Let us consider one example. All of us know a mercury metal. Mercury metal is in liquid state at room temperature. So most common example of the thermometer is the mercury thermometer. In mercury thermometer, mercury is used. It has some special reasons behind it why we are using a mercury in mercury thermometers. The first example, first reason behind this is that the mercury is a good conductor of heat. It can conduct heat very well. That is why, and another thing is that it has a high coefficient of expansion with the temperature. Means if you heat the mercury, its volume goes on increasing. Being a liquid, when you heat it, its volume will increase. So it has a high volume coefficient. So these are the two main reasons behind this why mercury is used in thermometers. Second thing, you might ask me the question, sir, why only mercury we are using? Because in order to have a good thermal conductor, we should be having a metal, and it is mercury is the only one metal who is in a liquid state at the room temperature. So it is the mercury is the only one metal in liquid state at the room temperature. That is why mercury is used. Now we will discuss what is thermometer in detail. Now see, thermometer is nothing but it is a device which is used to measure the temperature. So device which is used for the measurement of the temperature, that is called as a thermometer. We had seen its common example is the mercury in glass thermometer. You can see the picture which I had shown over here. It is a type of mercury in glass thermometer. Now how this thermometer works, that will be going to discuss. If the temperature increases, the mercury inside the glass bulb, suppose this glass bulb is having the mercury inside it, so when the temperature increases, this mercury expands, and it rises in the capillary tube, which is you can see inside this device. Okay, so this mercury rises in this capillary tube, and the temperature can be noted down on the scale adjacent attached to it. The temperature can be read on the adjacent scale attached to it. In this picture we can see the degree Celsius and the degree Fahrenheit. Two scales are attached over here. So these are the scales with the help of which you can read the temperature for a given thermometer. Now if you consider mercury is the widely used measuring, or mercury is the element or material which is widely used for the measuring the temperatures in day-to-day life or ordinary temperatures. In addition to the mercury, you can have alcohol thermometer as well as ether thermometers are also used for the measurement of the temperature. The essential requirements for a given material to use it in the thermometer or the requirement of a good thermometers are nothing but its construction, its calibration and its sensitivity. So all these three things are very important whenever you are talking about the good thermometer. So you have to have a good construction quality of a thermometer, you need to have a good calibration of a thermometer, and its sensitivity will should be high. We'll be discussing these 3 points in detail in our coming slides. Now, first we will discuss the construction of thermometer. In construction of thermometer, the physical property of the substance which is used in thermometer, it plays a very crucial role. Now, in mercury thermometer, if you consider as an example, the expansion of a mercury, the expansion coefficient of mercury or phenomenon of expansion with increase in temperature is used. Now, if you consider the general mercury thermometer, it will look like this. You can have a glass tube like this. At the lower end, you can have the glass bulb which is filled with the mercury, and uh, inside this glass tube, which is of few millimeter in size, you can have a small capillary tube from this -10 to 120. Such a kind of marking you will find, and with this marking you will find a very thin capillary tube which is having a very small bore. Now at the top you can find a hook, it is given in order to suspend this thermometer inside a liquid, and this the lower number upper number which will suggest you the upper fixed points. In case of a mercury thermometer, generally it is taken as a boiling point of the water, and lower fixed point which is nothing but the melting point of the ice, which is a 0 degree Celsius. Now mercury thermometer consists of uniform diameter which we had seen, uh, and that this tube opens into the mercury bulb which is you had seen at the lower end of this mercury thermometer, and this as a whole assembly, it is partially vacuumed and sealed in order to uh, have contact separation from the environment or the surrounding system. This system is sealed to preserve the partial vacuum. Now if the temperature increases, this lower bulb it will be immersed in the liquid whose temperature we need to measure. When this it will be immersed in a liquid whose temperature we need to measure, if that will be at a higher temperature, the mercury inside this glass bulb it will expand, and as this mercury will expand, so it will move in this capillary tube in this direction. So that is the phenomenon which is used, which is nothing but the expansion of mercury with rise in temperature, and we can note down the scale with the scale attached adjacent to this capillary tube. Now if you consider if thermometer is warmed or liquid inside the thermometer, it will expand. So in that case the liquid will move inside the capillary tube, it will go in upward direction, and we say that the temperature of the system is increased. Okay, on the other hand, if the thermometer is cooled, so this liquid will contract, and the liquid inside the capillary of a thermometer it will move in downward direction. We say that the given solution has a lower temperature with which this thermometer is in contact. Now you can ask me the one question, sir, why water is not used in the thermometer instead of alcohol and mercury? It's a very straightforward question. See, whenever you need to use any substance in a thermometer, you need to have a linear expansion coefficient. If you might have studied in your lower classes that water is having an anomalous behavior with respect to temperature, means its volume or expansion it will not be uniform with the temperature from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. So due to that anomalous behavior of the water is not generally used in a thermometer instead of this mercury and alcohol. So mercury and alcohol, these are the two substances which are widely used in thermometer. So we can have a mercury thermometer as well as the uh, alcohol thermometers. Now we can consider from a given two materials, which material it will be more reliable to use in the thermometer. If you consider, you might ask me the question, sir, why only mercury is preferred if both the glass mercury, if both glass and mercury expands when heated? Because when glass is heated, it will also expand, okay, and mercury too, it is also expanding. So as you increase the temperature of the glass, this diameter of the bore, it may increase. So why it is preferred to use glass and mercury? Okay, the answer is the thermal expansion coefficient of this mercury, it is large as compared to the glass. Okay, from a given or the materials which are available in the form of liquid with a good amount of thermal conductivity. So it is the mercury which is having a good thermal expansion coefficient as compared to the other material. That is why mercury is a good material for the thermometer, since it's the only metal liquid at the room temperature. Now here in this picture you can see the different thermometers are shown over here, which are filled with the different materials. Let us say this is material A, let us say this is material B, let us say this is material C, and let us say D, E, F. These are the different materials are there in these thermometers. The material, if you see, consider that all these materials are at a same temperature. So if you consider this material inside this capillary tube, it is much at a lower height. This is comparatively at a higher height. This is the third one, it is at a this height, and this one, if you go from left to right, the height of the material inside the capillary tube of a thermometer is goes on increasing. Now if these materials are at the same temperature, then why this it is at a higher level, why this liquid is moving at a higher level? Okay, the answer for this is the thermal expansion coefficient of this material. Higher the thermal expansion coefficient of the material, the higher will be the liquid level inside the capillary tube of a thermometer. So for the construction of a good thermometer, you need to require a material such that it is having a higher thermal expansion coefficient. That is the most important requirement of a material which is used to be in a thermometer. Now, what are the other parameters which are used in the construction of thermometer? So other parameters which are used in the constructions of thermometer, these are nothing but, if you consider gas thermometer. In gas thermometer, it is the change in pressure or volume of the gas with respect to temperature it is used. Okay, but as compared to the liquid thermometer, handling of a gas, it is quite difficult. So generally liquid thermometers are preferred over the gas thermometer. If you consider the platinum resistance thermometer, the platinum resistance thermometer, the change in the resistance of the platinum wire with temperature is used. So it is the resistance of the platinum wire which changes with respect to temperature, and this phenomenon is used in case of a platinum resistance thermometer. Thus, for the construction of a thermometer, proper choice of material is necessary, and physical property of the substance used to measure the temperature must vary uniformly with rise in temperature. So in order to have a good construction of a thermometer, you must be careful for a proper choice of the substance. Okay, it is the first necessary condition. Second necessary condition is that the variation of the variation of the physical property of that substance with respect to temperature has to be uniform. That is the reason why water is not used, because its behavior with respect to temperature, it is not uniform. It shows the anomalous behavior. That is why the most important reason behind why water is not used in case of a thermometer as a substance, that it shows the anomalous behavior from 0 degree to 4 degree Celsius. Now we will go ahead with the calibration of thermometer. How to calibrate the thermometer? Now see, when the construction of the thermometer is complete, it must be properly calibrated. And in order to calibrate the thermometers with respect to, means in order to calibrate the thermometers, some standard reference points are used. For example, we had seen in case of a Celsius scale, it is the melting point and the boiling point of the water, or melting point of the ice and boiling point of the water is used, which is 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius, which is generally divided into 100 equal parts. So these two are the reference points which are used in case of a Celsius scale. Now similar kind of reference points are used for the calibration of the thermometer, which may be melting of the ice, boiling point of the water, or melting point of the silver. These are the different temperatures, standard temperatures are there, which are used for the calibration of the thermometer. Now the scales are built by dividing the interval between these two fixed points into the equal parts. For example, melting point of the ice, which is 0 degrees Celsius, and the boiling point of the water, which is 100 degrees Celsius. So 100 minus 0, that will be 100 degrees Celsius. It will be divided into 100 equal part, and that will give you the 1 degree Celsius. So centigrade scale, if you consider, it will be built by dividing the melting point of the ice and the boiling point of the water into 100 equal parts. Now let us go ahead with the sensitivity of the thermometer. Now what is sensitivity? We'll be discussing that as well. Now if you consider a construction and calibration of the thermometer, when these two things are clear, now you have to go ahead with the sensitivity. Now sensitivity of the thermometer, it is very important parameter for a thermometer. Now the thermometer once constructed must be sensitive to the temperature changes of the body, means the temperature range in which it is going to be used. Within that temperature range, it has to be more sensitive. In addition to that, the temperature or thermometer must have two more requirements. What are those? The first thing is that it should have a small response time, and the second thing is that it should detect a small temperature change. So the thermometer is used to be sensitive when it detects a small change in the temperature, and response to the temperature is in short time. So the thermometer which we will be using, it should be more sensitive even for a small changes in the temperature in which it is going to be used. The second thing is that the response time, as soon as you immerse the thermometer in a given solution for the measurement of the temperature, it should be giving you the quick response for the temperature change in a given time or for a very short time. So this is the second requirement of a good thermometer as far as its sensitivity is concerned. Also, the thermometer must not take more heat for its own heating from the body whose temperature is to be measured. So third requirement for a good sensitivity of the thermometer is that the thermometer should not be taking more amount of heat for its own heating from the body in which it is immersed for its measurement of the temperature. If it is taking the more heat from the body for whose temperature it is measuring, then it's the temperature of the body, it might be altered in such a cases. So in order to avoid this, the material which is used in case of a thermometer, it should have a low heat taking capacity, and it must have a high thermal expansion coefficient. So that is the important for the sensitivity of the thermometer. Now next important thing which we need to take care while considering the sensitivity, this we have to handle while constructing a thermometer. We have to have a very small bore of the thermometer, or very small bore capillary tube has to be there inside a thermometer, because narrower the tube, the more liquid inside moves, making the thermometer more sensitive. If the tube will be broader, then for a given amount of heat or for a given amount of thermal expansion coefficient, liquid it will not move at a much higher distance or at a much higher level. You can see from this figure a capillary with large diameter for which the liquid will raise to up to this much level. But if you consider the capillary tube with a small diameter, the liquid level inside the capillary tube, it will move at a higher height as compared to the capillary with a large diameter. So in order to have more sensitivity, it is better to use the narrow tube for the construction of a thermometer, and in order to get a good sensitivity. Generally alcohol expands more than the mercury, so a mercury thermometer must have a narrow tube as compared to the alcohol thermometer. So if you consider the thermal expansion coefficient of the alcohol and the mercury, alcohol can expand more as compared to the mercury for a given temperature range. So it is required to have a, if you need to have more sensitivity of a mercury thermometer, its capillary bore of the capillary tube has to be narrow. In that case only you will have a good sensitivity for a mercury thermometer. There are different types of thermometers are there which are used for the measurement of the temperature in the scientific and industrial world. So what are these thermometers which are used for the temperature measurement from very low value to the very high value? So these different types of thermometers are listed over here. What are these thermometers? The first thermometer is the liquid fill thermometer, which are generally mercury thermometer or alcohol thermometer. You can have a gas thermometers in which gas is used for the as a substance for the measurement of the temperature. Then bimetallic thermometers are there. Then platinum resistance thermometer is there. Then thermocouple is there. So these are the different kinds of thermometers which are used in the scientific and industrial field. These different types of thermometers we'll be discussing in our coming lectures. We'll be discussing these in the details in our coming lectures. So I request all you people to please stay tuned with the coming lecture. Here for today's session we will stop here. I thank you all the students for attending the today's session. I hope you have understood the topic which we have discussed today. I also request you people to please like and share our video, and if you have any doubts you can comment me in the comment section. For a future notification you can hit the bell icon in the YouTube channel. That's it for the today's session. We'll stop here for the today's lecture. Thank you.